This is the QTV Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I'm Loliam Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. President Barrow received the outgoing Senegalese Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Mbaye Cissé, at the State House in Banjul. The Gambia has been recognized as the safest country in West Africa and the fourth safest on the continent, according to the latest World Population Review. Gambia participates and the Information Commission held a round table with the media and the civil society to boost collaboration on implementing the Access to Information ATI Act. The Arts, Culture, Tourism and Foreign Relations Committee of the Kanifi Municipal Council paid a courtesy visit to Q Group Chairman Mohamed Jah to thank QCell for successfully hosting the 2025 New Year's Eve Jamboree at Wasfield. In international news, on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos, African finance ministers and economic experts warn that the continent's rapidly growing youth population, coupled with decline in international aid, poses a significant challenge. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. President Adama Barrow on Wednesday received the outgoing Senegalese Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Mbaye Cissé, at the State House in Banjul. The visit was a farewell call, marking the end of Lieutenant General Cissé's tenure in office. Aliou Cissé reports.
Lieutenant General Cissé was accompanied to President Barrow by his Gambian counterpart, Lieutenant General Mohamed O.A. Cham, Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces. Lieutenant General Cissé reaffirmed Senegal's unwavering commitment to peace and security in both the Gambia and Senegal, highlighting the strong bilateral relations between the two nations. He applauded the leadership of Lieutenant General Mohamed O.A. Cham and the Gambia Armed Forces for initiating the first ever joint military patrol along the border, describing it as a historic milestone that reflects the deep bond and cooperation between Banjul and Dakar.
I have been very honored to be received by President Adama Barrow during my farewell visit. As you know, I am leaving the active service in few weeks, and it is a military tradition before leaving to come to say goodbye. And I was here to say first goodbye to General Cham and to thank him for his leadership, his personal commitment to strengthen the relationship between our two armed forces. The second objective was also to visit our military contingent here. As you know, Senegal is very engaged in the stabilization in the peace process in Gambia. Since 2017, we have deployed here military contingent, and it was an opportunity for us to renew our commitment to this regional peace within the Gambia.
Also speaking, Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Mohamed O.A. Cham, equally expressed gratitude to Lieutenant General Cissé for strengthening military cooperation and collaboration between the two armies during his tenure.
We share a common history, we are the same people, and even though we are two separate states, which is recognized, and we want to emphasize that our relationship has been based on mutual respect and cooperation. We also want to thank him during his tenure. The military support in terms of training and logistics had been increased. As we speak, we have Gambian soldiers training in the Senegalese military institutions, both in the officers' academies and in the non-commissioned academies. We've also been able to send our children to the pre-training military, all to build a basis for cooperation and mutual understanding. And we want to thank him for his openness and for his support.
While wishing Cissé success in his future endeavors, Cham gave him assurances of the continuation of strong defense cooperation between the Gambia and Senegal. During the meeting, President Barrow appreciated General Cissé's services to the Gambia and Senegal, wishing him well in his future endeavors. He congratulated President Bassirou Diomaye Faye and the people of Senegal on winning the African Cup of Nations 2026. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
As safety becomes an increasingly decisive factor for international travel, investment and diplomacy, the Gambia has earned recognition as one of Africa's safest countries. The latest World Population Review lists it the safest country in West Africa and the fourth safest on the continent. Julden Jai has the rest of the story.
Data from World Population Review highlights the safest countries based on the Global Peace Index, GPI, and other indicators, offering a benchmark for both business and leisure planning. The Gambia is ranked as the fourth safest country in Africa with a score of 1.855. The ranking reflects improvements in community safety, political stability, and overall security. Only Mauritius, Botswana, and Namibia rank higher on the continent. The index examines crime, political tensions, and militarization. Countries such as Malawi and Equatorial Guinea have slipped in the rankings due to rising crime and governance challenges. Regionally, the Gambia now stands out as the safest country in West Africa, ahead of larger neighbors including Senegal, Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Liberia. Experts say this shows that even a small country can maintain strong stability and social cohesion. Despite political instability and recent military coups, West Africa stands out as the safest region on the list, with 5 countries from the region making the top rankings. This achievement also has wider implications. The strong safety record can boost confidence among investors, development partners, and local communities. It reflects years of effort to maintain calm after periods of political transition. Yet, despite this recognition, the Gambia has not yet seen tourism grow at the same pace as some neighboring countries. Senegal, for example, attracts more than 2 million international visitors each year, and Cape Verde, another neighbor, received 1.3 million visitors in 2025, while Gambia's arrivals are much lower in comparison. By highlighting safety, improving promotion, and investing in tourism infrastructure, the country could use its peaceful image to attract more visitors and strengthen its economy. For now, the Gambia's ranking is a clear sign of progress. It shows that the country has built one of the most peaceful societies in West Africa and has the potential to turn this achievement into wider opportunities, including for tourism and investment. Reporting for QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
On Thursday, Gambia participates in partnership with the Information Commission organized a roundtable discussion bringing together media practitioners and civil society organizations to enhance collaboration on the implementation and enforcement of the Access to Information ATI Act. I covered the event, and here is my report. The Access to Information Act is a key legal framework in the Gambia for promoting openness in public institutions, yet many journalists and CSOs continue to face challenges obtaining information from government officers. The initiative seeks to empower journalists and civil society organizations to use the law effectively as a tool for transparency, accountability, and good governance. Ajimam Jan of Gambia Participates emphasized the organization's commitment to promoting transparency and accountability across communities.
Over the past period, Gambia Participates has been actively implementing initiatives aimed at advancing these values. We have already conducted capacity building trainings with journalists and CSOs, focusing on the practical use of the Access to Information Act. We've also gone across the country engaging communities on the Access to Information Act.
Despite the progress made, Madam Jan noted that challenges including delays, non-compliance, and limited public awareness continue to hinder the effective implementation of the law.
Particularly in the full implementation of the ATI Act and the continued existence of laws that restrict press freedom. This roundtable gathering, therefore, comes at an opportune time. Today's discussions are designed to openly examine obstacles to implementation, review legal frameworks affecting media freedom, and identify realistic and legally feasible reforms.
Commissioner by Emil Ture of the Information Commission described the gathering as both timely and significant, emphasizing that information is the lifeblood of journalism.
So, as a people, we must work to making sure that we consolidate the peace we have by way of bringing the government closer to the people. And the only way we can do that is for public officers to engage in proactive disclosure of information and to make sure that they respond to our requests for information.
Participants described the engagement as a vital step toward ensuring public information is no longer hidden behind bureaucracy, but made accessible to citizens through responsible journalism. Ma'am Nabuka, a journalist at QTV, was among those taking part in the discussion.
Like Emil just mentioned during his speech, that information is the lifeblood of journalism, which is truly a fact because we are informing people out there. To do that, we need credible information to do that. So knowing that you have that right, I want every journalist out there to actively go after it. You know, they've given you the right. Go ahead, ask for information, disclose what you need to disclose because people need to be informed to do the right decisions, to take the right steps for our country to help it move forward.
The roundtable marks a meaningful step toward greater transparency and accountability in the Gambia. By empowering journalists and civil society, the initiative aims to ensure public information is accessible, fostering responsible reporting and stronger citizen engagement. For QTV News, Loli M. Kamara.
We'll now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
Every day, reach for nature's sweet treat fruits. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations FAO and the Ministry of Health recommend enjoying a variety of fruits available in your community. Consume at least one serving daily. Try options like mango, banana, pawpaw, kaba, pineapple or avocado. Whole fruits are best, offering natural goodness without the need for added sugars. Remember to wash fruits thoroughly before eating, and when fruits are out of season, dry fruits or natural fruit juices can be a good alternative. Just choose 100% juice without added sugars. Healthy, refreshing, and packed with nutrients. Make fruits a part of your daily routine for a healthier Gambia. Choose whole fruits. Choose health. Follow the food-based dietary guidelines.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. The chairman of Q Group, Mohammed Jah, on Thursday welcomed the Arts, Culture, Tourism and Foreign Relations Committee of the Carnival Municipal Council at QCell headquarters on Carver Avenue. The courtesy visit was to thank QCell for successfully hosting the 2025 New Year Eve Jamboree at Westfield. Usman Jada reports.
New Year's Eve was marked by celebration and togetherness as QCell, in partnership with the Carnifing Municipal Council, hosted a spectacular jamboree at Westfield. The event showcased top Gambian artists, cultural performances and lively entertainment, drawing thousands and turning Westfield into a hub of joy and natural pride as Gambians welcome 2025. Osman Gay, clerk of the Carnifing Municipal Council, expressed gratitude for QCell's timely support and steadfast commitment.
I must state that we are very much excited to at least have this partnership for the first time. This was the third event that we have organized, during the New Year's Eve Jamboree. But then, we must state that this is one of the best that, was ever staged. And thanks to your support, which we hope, will continue, because this is something we feel should happen yearly. The importance is, we don't want to see our families just roaming around in the streets, taking into consideration, the security issues.
The KMC-QCell partnership grows, promoting community development and youth empowerment. The New Year's Eve Jamboree reflects QCell's Sunipa's philosophy and commitment to giving back to Gambians beyond telecommunications. Ami Cisse, head of marketing at QCell, highlighted the overwhelming success of the event and reaffirms the company's readiness to deepen collaboration with KMC in future initiatives that uplift communities.
It was of great pleasure for us to sponsor that event, and we were quite impressed with the organizing team as well. Usually when a lot of people are involved, it takes a lot to get things done, but the TV was actually more excited than I was when I told them that you're hosting this in KMC.
Lassana Tunkara, Deputy General Manager of QTV, commended his team for their commitment and technical excellence, which ensured the festival reached a global audience.
When it went out, if you see all the comments that we got, especially on our YouTube page from Gambians and non-Gambians, I know they had a feeling that they were here for New Year's Eve. So it was really, really exciting for us. I know our team, they work closely with your team, and they're putting a lot of work, and I must say this was one of the best New Year's Eve broadcasts we've ever done.
Among other collaborations, the two institutions recently joined forces on the Set Satal Sunireu Keeping the Gambia Clean campaign, promoting environmental responsibility and cleaner communities. Mohammed Jah, chairman of Q Group, thanked the KMC delegation for their visit and urged continued innovation and excellence in future collaborations.
We believe that we are Gambians, we live in Gambia, and we need to develop Gambia. And nobody will develop Gambia apart from us, And we've seen it all over the world now. Every country is trying to promote its own citizenry, its own products and services. So we believe in that, and we are not ashamed to say it. We say it everywhere, that the Gambia is ours, and we should all try to participate in the development of Gambia.
The partnership between Q Group and KMC continues to thrive, fostering community development, youth empowerment, and national pride, while demonstrating a shared commitment to meaningful collaborations that benefit Gambians across the country. Osman Jata, QTV News.
For years, rice farmers in the Gambia Central River Region South have seen their harvests devastated by seasonal floods. Now, a new initiative by the Korea Partnership for Innovation in Agriculture, COPIA, is bringing hope by encouraging growers to focus on dry season rice production. Usman Jada has more.
Along the banks of the River Gambia, rice farming is a vital livelihood. However, most fields in the Central River Region South are located in floodplains and swamps, leaving them highly vulnerable during the rainy season. With minimal flood control infrastructure, including few drainage channels and water gates, farmers are often helpless when heavy rains strike. In recent years, unpredictable weather and high tides have worsened the problem, often submerging mature rice at harvest time. For many farmers, the result is devastating. Musa Sidia Cisse, a rice seed farmer from Jahali and Marina Rice Growers Association, is all too familiar with this struggle.
Our biggest problem is during the rainy season. When the tides are high, water enters our swamps and damages the rice. Out of 100 plants, only about 30 survive. That is why we now depend mostly on dry season production. With just half a hectare, you can harvest between 3 to 4 tons of rice.
Musa's experience mirrors that of many farmers across the region, men and women whose yields shrink year after year despite their effort. To break this cycle of loss, COPIA is shifting its support towards dry season rice production, a period when water levels are easier to control and crops are safer from flooding. Dr. Lamin Sane, administrator of Copia Gambia, says the strategy is key to improving food security and farmer incomes.
Our initial target for Copia was to support 250 hectares this particular season, but the initial plan was 150 for the dry season and 100 hectares for the rainy season. But now we wanted to entirely cultivate 250 hectares for this dry season and totally forget about rainy season cultivation. That is the essence. There are so many risk factors. Some of them, there is no way we can be able to handle or control them. And at the end of the season, we experience very low yielding, which is not our wish or objective.
Copia's approach includes free plowing services, access to fertilizer, herbicides and insecticides, and improved Korean rice varieties such as Isri 7, a high-yielding seed well suited to local conditions. For farmers like Bangali Kante, a rice seed grower in CRR South, the support has already made a difference.
Since
the launch of Copia Gambia, we have seen great improvements. I received rice seedlings and production has been successful. Despite the many challenges, I am hopeful of harvesting twice as much as last year.
Kante is among the few beneficiaries of Copia's rice seed support program, an initiative aimed at helping farmers not just survive but thrive. By encouraging farmers to focus on dry season production, Copia hopes to significantly reduce post-harvest losses and help farmers cultivate 250 hectares of rice across the region. For communities whose livelihoods depend on the land, the SIFs offers something long missing from the rainy season: certainty. Osman Chata, QTV News.
Coming up next is international news. African finance ministers and economic experts meeting on the sidelines of the World Economic Forum in Davos have warned that the continent's rapidly growing youth population, accelerating urbanization, and declining international aid are placing increasingly pressure on governments to create jobs and deliver inclusive services. And Sumana Iswanyansi reports.
Africa's population is projected to reach 2.5 billion by 2050, with about 13 million young people entering the labor market each year, according to the African Development Bank. However, the formal economy creates only around 3 million jobs annually, underscoring a widening employment gap that threatens social and economic stability. A 36% drop in development aid to Africa over 2 years is increasing pressure on governments to pursue locally driven growth. At Davos, speakers highlighted the African Union's 10-year strategy to expand 2.2 million social enterprises, generating $96 billion and driving job creation. Ethiopia and Nigeria's finance ministers detailed reforms to liberalize key sectors and address labor market gaps, while discussing the African continental free trade area's role in boosting trade, industrialization and employment. Ethiopia's finance minister Ahmed Seid Mohamed acknowledged persistent challenges but said efforts are underway to align economic policies with development and employment needs, particularly for young people and women. His Nigerian counterpart, however, said the Tinubu administration is implementing microeconomic reforms aimed at stabilizing the currency and improving access to foreign exchange.
We face a pressing challenge. Our young labor force, with around 1.8 million new entrants each year, urgently needs significant upskilling to align with the demand of our economy. We also need to invest in job-rich sectors and the future-oriented skills.
I can come to Davos and use my Nigerian card. So that
it's working.
It's working. There's no limit. We have also removed subsidies, particularly petroleum subsidy. But at the same time, we have put in place regulatory frameworks, legal frameworks, there are laws in place, Electricity Act, for instance.
Kenyan open source software advocate Angela Oduo Lungati drew attention to Africa's heavy reliance on international funding and commercial financing, noting significant gaps in local financing systems, and called on African governments to develop mechanisms for unrestricted financing for social enterprises and to better leverage technology for sustainable growth.
I want to hone in on one that's really critical, which is access to capital and financing. I think more than 55% of the social enterprises that were interviewed for this report noted that as a major challenge, right? So, you know, for us, you look at, there's a middle funding gap. You're either too big to get the smaller grants or what you call microfinancing, or you're too small or considered too risky.
The discussions highlighted a common understanding that Africa's demographic growth could be a major advantage, but only if governments can turn it into employment, expanded energy access, and strong locally driven economic systems. Answane Sonyasi for KTV News.
That brings us to the end of this news bulletin. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.